Testing.
We are created by your power, love, and strengthened by your spirit. We give ourselves in your service. May we love you and others.
Thank you, Marshall. That was beautiful. Basically, I just am gonna email you guys that Mark's if you're interested in leading prayer. Throughout the year, I'm gonna turn off the fan, so I'm not blowing my you guys. But to lead the prayer, so stay tuned for that. And next up, Ryan is gonna do roll call.
The question for tonight is what is your favorite dining hall? James Bear.
Here, what was the question? We can't really hear on the Zoom.
Zach Geiger.
Here, their turkey's actually pretty good.
Okay, Zach.
It's pretty good.
Mia Moran. Here, I'm gonna go with shredded hash brown. Grade leathers.
Here, the poke.
Grace Upler. Here, the Brazilian croquette thingies. Isabel Grace. Here, I like the make your own eggs. Kate Porter. Here, I like the pasta base. Carmen Foskey.
Here, Canadian.
Derek Williams.
Here, let's go with strawberry sheet cake in the south side.
Griffin McAndrew.
Here, let's go with the pasta stir fry.
Lydia Wardlaw. Here. Lauren Taylor. Here. Southwest salad. Joan Souza.
Here, I agree with those changes.
Peter Herman.
Here, so Southwest South.
Jamie Burnett.
Here, just most of the cereals.
Sarah Tossi. Here. Pasta with meatballs and Alfredo. Alec Brailer.
I'm his proxy and boom boom.
Luca Rafani.
Here, and Amy's garlic herb pizza.
Ellen Mahoney. Here. In the comments. Aaron Point. Jessica Vickery. Here. I'm also Marshall Smith.
Here and stir fry.
Aiden Ellis.
Here, yes.
Bobby Spence.
Here, Southwest South.
Casting Murphy.
Here, probably the breakfast sandwiches.
Kate Brandon.
Here, Joan, Joan's watching.
Patrick Smart.
I like Greek night. I don't.
Paul Stoller.
I'm omelet bar. So I'm very nice to see that.
Jake Lowry. Connor Patrick.
Reese's peanut butter pie. Here.
Nice.
Thomas Davis.
Blue power.
Patrick Lee.
Case news.
Jared Sachet.
Here, and I would also agree with the Greek night.
Nicole Bauman. Claire Sison.
And pasta.
Rachel Dorfner. Virginia
Here on
Gordon.
Zoom.
Here, Lauren Pugh. Madison Nemeth. Here. No Doyle.
Here. I was gonna say there's like a Lebanon salad, I think in North Angle. It's solidly excellent, but I'm going to that. I'm going to French fries.
Yeah.
And fun fact, pro tip, they keep the boom boom sauce in North Angle all the time, in case folks didn't actually know that. That is what I have my French fries with every time I'm there. So, it's over by the quesadilla station, so if you ever need to make your own boom boom chicken, there you go.
All right, I'm here. Thank you. Okay, real quick, Mo, do you want to explain what you do? Because I realize some people might not know why you're gracing us with your presence.
Sure. I was like, I don't think I'm on the agenda tonight, but yeah, happily. So my name's Mo Doyle, Maureen, whatever's easiest. I am serving as the director for student centers, activities, and events in the student experience office upstairs. So one of my main responsibilities is along the lines of advising the major student organizations that exist, one of which being Senate. So I can get to serve as your direct advisor. And I advise Sophie, Patrick, and Nicole in the capacity of their roles as a so I like to describe myself as just the pretty face in the corner. So that's my name. Sit here and look nice while you all do the hard work. So
Beautiful. That was a great explanation. Okay. All right, awesome. So as part of our roll call, we are going to do a little team bonding. I know. Thank you, Connor. You guys have expressed some interest in just getting to know each other. So I'm gonna give you guys 60 seconds to turn and talk to each other and find out something interesting. And I'm gonna be calling on you, so make sure you're chatting, because otherwise it's gonna get awkward. So go for it. 60 seconds. All right, everybody, here we go. Kate Porter, what's
Hello.
something interesting?
I'm right here. This is Chris, and I learned he does not have an appendix.
Wow, is that, can you share that?
No, it's cool. Here,
Oh,
It's cool,
yeah.
okay.
I don't think it's top ten, actually. It's cool. It's cool.
Okay, awesome. And you're proxy, right?
Yeah.
Cool, welcome to That's dope. I like it. I like it. Okay, and I also want to hear from Isabel Grace.
Hi, this is Erin. She's two siblings. One's at University of Washington and one's at Berkeley.
That is a fun fact. Thank you for that. That's awesome. That is a fun fact. Okay, next up on getting to know each other, I asked you guys to fill out that directory. Thank you to the wonderful Ryan McTay for following up with people on that. And I am going to pick one of you and ask you about the things that you asked me to ask you about. So, Connor, tell us about your crippling Mio addiction.
No, those are national secrets.
So I actually can't drink water without Mio anymore. It's really a touchy subject for me.
Okay.
I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
didn't
I
talk
thought
about
the
it so
public
much.
document was fair game.
No,
Sorry
no.
about that.
Yeah, but I spend too much money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are those expensive?
Well, if you drink one of them every 2 days, yes.
Okay,
And I've actually like sprayed it into my mouth, and the flavor's not that bad.
that is powerful.
Yeah.
I agree with you there.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna move on. Thank you for that. All right, next up, we're gonna move into the approval of minutes. So what are minutes? Basically, Ryan types up relatively everything that happens in Senate. On that note, I would also just like to let you all know that our Senate meetings are actually recorded and live streamed. That's in the Constitution, but I realize that not everybody may know that. So speak freely, here we are. If you ever need to close the meeting because we're talking about something that's extremely sensitive, you can definitely move to do that. But yeah, we want to make sure that this is accessible to the student body because what we do here matters, and we're here to represent them. So awesome. Are there any objections to the minutes? Okay, so we are going to vote to approve the minutes. All in favor? Awesome. Abstain? And against? Great, the minutes are approved. That's awesome. So next up, executive announcements. Did everybody get the shared drive? Awesome. So I've spent my late night hours, my free time working on the Senate drive for you guys. So I hope it's helpful. Basically, Jerry's going to have the most updated version of the Constitution in there. There's also kind of expectations, some cool stuff on parliamentary procedure. All of the legislation that we tried to pass, we did pass, we're going to pass, that's going to be it there. Lots of other great resources. I also wanted to touch a little bit on the Senator Toolkit that I made for you guys. So basically, you don't need SAO approval to pull your doors. And we got a lot of feedback from last year and previous year's Senates that senators weren't really like well known in the dorm. We're going to change that. It's going to be super cool. You're the celeb of your dorm. I know, student Senate. But we're going to send out surveys, make it really easy for you guys. So poke around in there. There's nothing I really want you to do just yet, but get familiar with that drive. If you have any questions, let me know. That's like a later thing, not a now thing. Also, teaching moments. What is a resolution versus what is an order? So let me pull it up. Hold on. Oh, maybe not. Okay, never mind. We're still going to talk about it, but just not like that. Okay, so Jared, our parliamentarian, is going to talk a little bit about a resolution versus an order. Go ahead.
Yeah, so a resolution is a call to action by the Senate. It requires a majority vote and is typically then signed by the student body president. Whereas an order is the execution of powers in the Senate, which requires a 2/3 vote. So a resolution is essentially something that the student Senate resolves to do or calls upon somebody to do, such as some of the resolutions passed last week and some of the ones we're looking at this week, such as for the calm and timing app. Orders, on the other hand, are for the constitutional functions of Senate and our execution of them. So for example, the most common one is amendments to the Constitution.
Thank you, Jared. So an example of a resolution, anybody want to raise their hand? Or I can. Yes, go for it.
The divestment resolution. There's a call for the university to divest from Boston.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And then in order, like Jared said, tends to be more like constitutional stuff. Anybody want to raise their hand and give an example of an order? Anybody? Yes,
Would that be such as the order to increase the number of off-campus senators?
exactly. Great. That's perfect. Thank you, Jared. And so you can actually tell on resolutions, because in the name, SS is going to be a resolution and SO is going to be an order. So we'll get more familiar with this language. Also in the shared drive are templates. My job is to help you guys pass or work through or bring to the Senate whatever you want to. So please reach out with any questions or concerns about that. Next up, point C, Senate chats with Sophie. Same as last week. I want to get to know each and every one of you. I did receive an email that some of the times weren't really fitting in people's schedules. So if that's the case, let me know. We will find a different time. And thank you everybody for being so flexible with me on those. Committees coming to you next week. I've been working with some of you to divide you all into committees. You guys are constitutionally required to serve on executive departments if you are a hall senator. And again, told you when we first got into Senate, working to put you guys in a position that's going to be fulfilling and really productive for you all. So stay tuned for that. I'm really excited. And next up, parliamentary procedure by Jared. Because our tech system is a bit of a nightmare, we're just going to share the presentation with you guys because this is currently being live streamed and we just want to not waste your time and get to it. So Jared is going to send it. Yep, there you go. Awesome. So if you guys want to go ahead and open up that presentation, he's going to take it away. Go for it.
All right, so I don't want to make this presentation too long because we only have one more Senate meeting after this, and then we're going to be not going to be meeting for 4 months. I don't want to give a very detailed presentation, only to give the exact same presentation in the fall. So before I begin, I just want to say I'm going to give a much more detailed presentation when we come back in the fall semester. But I just want to go through the basics now so that to help everyone understand what's going on in this meeting and the next one. And so parliamentary procedure is essentially a system of rules and procedures to run a meeting efficiently and conduct business in an orderly fashion. It's used to ensure that the majority is able to make decisions while also protecting the rights of the minority, so different opinions in that regard, to provide order and fairness, to make sure meetings are run in orderly fashion, that everyone is able to have the right to speak and that everyone's voice is heard and vote is recognized. And lastly, to facilitate civil debates and to keep issues from devolving into much more personal battles or involving people in the committee, keep debate on the actual topics. So the general outline for meetings is that we're going to start with calling the meeting to order, like what Sophie did when she was pounding the gavel. And then roll call, where Ryan is going to go through everyone's name, make sure everyone is here, because it's constitutionally required to have attendance to this meeting if you're a voting member. Then we'll move into approval of the minutes. Then there'll be executive announcements, where typically Sophie will just go through some announcements for all of you. Then we'll move into general business, which is when we'll be debating and voting on nominations, resolutions, orders, amendments, Senate bylaws, things like that. And once we've gone through all of the general business, that's when we move into adjournment and the meeting, and that'll be the end. So a bit more on the approval of minutes, as you just saw, it'll start with the minutes will always be shared in advance, so you can go through them. And then Sophie will ask if there are any corrections to the minutes. If there does need to be corrections, we could present it as a motion, such as I motion to correct the minutes in some manner. And then we will vote on it. A majority vote is will determine if the change is made or not. And if there are no changes, and once all the changes are made, we'll then vote to approve on the minutes. And then executive announcements, and then we'll move into the process for just general business. And so with general business, it'll typically start with a resolution or order being read out by the author or one of the other co-sponsors of it. Then we'll move into questioning on it. A voting member will motion to end question, move into debate. We'll vote on that. And once that vote passes, we'll move into debate. We'll debate the resolution at hand, and then once it seems that debate is over, a voting member will again motion to end debate. And then we'll move into a vote to either postpone the resolution to a future meeting, to refer the resolution to a committee, or vote on the resolution as it is, and essentially approve it, or it will fail. And so, to start with the reading of the resolution, typically, and a sponsor has to be the one that reads the resolution. Typically, it would be the person that will be asked to read it first will be the first name on the document. But anyone who is in the sponsors in the top left is able to read it out. Once it's read out, any voting and non-voting member is free to ask the sponsor questions. And once there are no more questions, then we can vote. Then some voting member will motion to move into debate about the resolution, which that will require a majority vote to pass. And then, if it's a nomination, though, there's a couple extra caveats in that. The nominee can also be asked questions as well as the nominator, unlike with a resolution where it's just the sponsors. And if we move into debate about a nomination, the nominee is not allowed to be in the room. As we saw last week with all the nominations, the nominee had to leave the room when we moved into debate. And so Sophie will announce we are now in debate over whatever topic is at hand, whether it be a resolution or a nomination or anything like that. And then once we're in debate,